Hey everybody, welcome back to Midnightrice. We're doing some more pretend engineering. We're doing some more Kerbal Space Program.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Alright, so I did come up with a battle plan. I have been grinding. If you can't see, we got plenty of bucks. We used up most of our science points, but we have unlocked a bunch of stuff like these heavy lift rockets and these bigger solid rocket boosters. So I did come up with a battle plan for us. I was kind of just shooting in the dark. I have learned how to use the McJeb a little better. That unit is currently right somewhere stuck to this thing. I know it looks awful, but I'm trying to set this up for a long-term satellite that I can change orbits with, and I think I've kind of got the knack of it now. We haven't lost any Kerbals yet during all my grinding. I did a lot of autonomous launches just so I wouldn't kill a Kerbal off stream, but I wanted to grind us up some XP and some points and some cash so we can just work on our space program. So how we're going to work it is, first we're going to get a permanent satellite in orbit around Kerbin. I wish I knew what the mod was I used to have. It allowed you to have more science stuff, like it made a deep space telescope and added cool little science thingies to it. I might look into getting that eventually too. It's just going to be a little bit before I can find those. I didn't want to run too many mods. Like this mod here, the McJeb one, is really just so you can... It helps you with the math, basically, which I'm not good at all. It helps you get into orbits as far as, like, if you wanted to leave Kerbin and go to the moon. It helps you figure out the trajectory to do all that, which I don't want to get textbooks and try to learn all this shit. And the tutorials are okay, but I was trying to move this along because I wasn't expecting this series to be this long, but I'm having so much fun. We're going to keep rolling with it. So plan one, we're going to get an unmanned satellite up there. We can just leave it up there, hanging out, getting sun rays, and it'll be good to go. Because all of our scientific stuff we've ran, we're limited. Where's our science? We've used all this stuff up, so none of it's going to give us any more science points as long as I'm around Kerbin. So this is just going to be for funsies, just so we did it. Next, I'd like to get a manned craft up there and be able to at least... Actually, let's do an unmanned first. We're going to do an unmanned craft using a similar setup to this. I like this as our lift capacity because it gets us into orbit with a little bit of fuel left to adjust our orbit around the Kerbin, and we can go to a higher orbit, and then we have all the fuel in this right here with a smaller engine. That's my mistake number one, is I was putting big engines on both ends, and it was eating up the fuel fast once I was in space. This fuel tank here lasts plenty to get orbit set up and adjusted as may needed down the road. So our plan here, and I'll show you our design here, is we're going to launch these two solid rocket boosters. This is going to get us pretty far up in the atmosphere. Then we're going to burn all this main fuel up. I was going to do it in stages, but I'm just like, we'll just go for it. This is our final unit here. The nose cone will pop off. That is our final stage there. And just to make it look a little better, this is our anonymous control. I put more science stuff on there, even though it's kind of useless at this point. And we have 2 solar panels to keep our batteries charged. And we have plenty of these tanks here, which I forgot in the last launch. Once you take a Kerbin out of it, their capsule has some built-in mono propellant. Once you take that out of there, you don't have any. And I got all the way up there, and I wasn't able to redirect anything, so it was bad. So I've also added this the ring on here. That's another command and control. It is a incline stabilizer. It'll help with takeoff and everything. So we're pretty good to go. Let's get this satellite in the air, and when we're up there, I'll talk more about our upcoming plans. And I think we're ready to launch. All right, so here we go. Here's my great design. Up and away. And I'm going to put our inner engine on full throttle, so when we do the transfer to that. And so far I've had a lot of luck. I think I've had 6 launches with this, and not one time has a solid rocket booster come swing in and smack into the main rocket. We're just breaking into the outer atmosphere before we run out of fuel. So look how smooth those drop away. They're expensive. We waste them each time, but... Yeah, I've been pretty lucky too. I haven't left a lot of space debris up here. Most of my stuff is re-entered and burned up. Because I thought about that. The more and more I launch, I'm going to keep on having crap sitting up here, you know. And that's going to be like real life, where You know, our planet's surrounded by garbage from old missions and everything. Or we better start arching over here. Yeah, I've got this figured out pretty good. I found the Achilles heel of this whole deal. You know, you're like, oh, see, I'm almost out of fuel and I'm just barely getting into orbit. Maybe if I add another fuel canister on there, then we'll have plenty of fuel. Well, that's more weight. Means the solid rocket boosters don't take you up as far. Oh, we better cut that. All right. So we still got a little bit of fuel to maneuver. So I'm going to show you how McJeb works. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go to, where is it? Maneuver Planner. We're going to circularize, which I already have it on. So you have a big list of things to do, and half of them I couldn't even tell you what the hell they mean. I know that this one here is when you go to come back into the planet. It helps you degrade your orbit. But circularize is the one we use right now. We're going to create it at the next possible area, which is there. We're going to create the node. Isn't that nice? That's going to give us a nice circular orbit. Now it tells you how long before you have to make the burn, how long the burn's got to be for, so you're not wasting all that extra fuel, which is pretty nice. So what all we need to do is get ourselves, turn the RCS on, we're going to get ourselves hopefully turned 9, 8, 7, 6. Gotta be really fast on the buttons though. All right, and go. So I'm using full and throttle and cutoff, trying to get as close as possible. It's like a mini game in itself. I tell you what, that's not bad. I can live with that. So when you're done, all you have to do is remove all nodes. And there's our new orbit. How about that? Look at that. So we're at 485, 424, and we're at 474, 668. And really, we have enough fuel in there where I could actually, what do you want to say, use that rest of that fuel to get into a higher orbit or whatnot. But really, we really don't need this anymore. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to break this stage away. All right, we're gonna give it just a little bit so we can get away from that. I don't want to mess up our orbit too bad, but hopefully that will. Let's see how our orbit's doing now. So we are leaving some space junk up there. Just that. All right, so I want to fire off the nose cone. Oh, look at that. That thing's going bye-bye. That's cool. Oh, the ring is still there. The ring is going to float away slowly. All right, let's deploy our solar panels. Nice, nice, nice. I like that. That ring is kind of doing its own thing. That's pretty sweet. All right, so I think with RCS, I think I can actually... Oh, I guess I gotta turn RCS on. So I should be able to do a lot of little adjustments with that. It's actually a little bit too... All right, so let's check our orbit. Now, that's cool. I'm like, space junk. All right, so let's check where we're at on our orbit. So 485, 479. I mean, it's not perfect, but we can adjust it later. Because the nice thing is we have all that fuel now to make adjustments. So let's get that off of there. So there's our satellite and our random piece of space junk. Deploy our dish. Extend antenna. Look at that. So she's not pretty, but this is our first official satellite. And hopefully we won't use a bunch of power up. Let's, I want to turn all the lights on. Oh, I can turn on blink mode. Are you blinking? Oh, cool. And you can change the colors. I haven't messed around with these too much. Let's just put 2 lights on. Yeah, see, the 2 lights are on now. Let's do all of them. Hell with it. Let's do all of them. Blink on, turn on. And we'll change those to red too. Oh, blink on. Boop. Cool. That's pretty neat. We have more lights on there too, but I am worried about battery draw. So let's look at that. Yeah, so we have hardly any battery draw. So I'm going to call this a success. Look at that. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys, and congratulations on our first satellite in space. In the next episode, I think we're going to start shooting towards our primary goal, which was the moon, and then everything after that is all gravy. So thanks for joining us here on Midnightrice. We're playing space. In space. We're playing. Thanks for joining us at Midnightrice. We're playing Kerbal Space Program, and we'll see you in the next episode.